swings. Now Santa Maria will put up a three. Bang! Santa Maria!
Here's Warner. Here comes a headed jam. Counted for two. Field. Adios! And the Falcons win on a walk-off. And it's saved. What a game. What's this? Smack. To the left.
That is gone!
Perez, that's my play, off the backboard, counting, and a win! And a win! Ryan Perez wins the game for the Santa Rosa Warriors, and they go!
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another broadcast here on Real Sports Live. We're coming to you live from Feria Motors in Brownsville, Texas, again on a Wednesday afternoon. Kevin Arrow, John Trevino, Ruben Rodriguez to my far right. Back on another edition. We're going to talk football. We're going to recap Week 4, talk about what's on tap for Week 5. And we got a heck of a lineup here this afternoon. We're going to be joined by Coach Oscar Salinas of the Feria Lions. And then we got a little 1-2 punch from down the road from Brownsville Rivera, head coach Beto Leal, and Hugo Ramirez, the defensive coordinator from the Raiders, will be joining us later this afternoon. So, again, thanks for tuning in. Again, live from Feria Motors and Brownsville. So, guys, we are through with Week 4. Week 5 is here. Now we're officially in the full slate of district games where we're seeing the 4As now jumping into district play. We're seeing the 6As jump into district play, and it's all gas, no brakes from here on.
Yeah, now it's a sprint to the finish. In most seasons, it seems like a marathon. We're in that back half of the part where it's already, okay, you played your first 4 games. Now it's technically where it really counts because you can lose all 4 games, but if you go 6-0 in district, you're more than likely district champ.
Right, and you know we're 31 6A had already started districts. The 5As had already started district play. We're really looking at the 4As and 32 6A that are starting district play. Also the 3As as well. We have a couple 3As here down here in the valley. But did it get here quicker than we thought? Because now you go through phase 1 where you're in spring ball, phase 2 where you're talking about the non-district portion of the season. Now we're all in district play. So for you.
It went by pretty fast. Honestly, seems just like yesterday we had our first episode here. I was excited. No, the season's going to go long. It's going to be a long season. It's going to be a fun season now that we have a full slate, a full schedule. But now, like in the blink of an eye, here we are, Week 5. District play already kicking off for some districts. And playoff fever also starting to slowly creep its way in. So I'm excited to see how it's going to play out.
Yeah, we're going to start our coverage as soon as tomorrow night. We have 3 games on the schedule, full slate of games on Friday night, and then we have 2 games going on Saturday. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the broadcast. But to recap the scoring, what exactly went down on Thursday night, Edinburgh Vela all over La Jolla 69-7. Nicky Road beating Brownsville Pace 49-21. La Jolla Palmview 22, Donna 20. Laredo Alexander 57, Rio Grande City 0. Corpus Christi Miller 62, Brownsville Hanna 28. Those were Thursday's scores. And into Friday's scores, we had Mercedes staying unbeaten on the year, 69-0 over Valley View. La Feria 58, Toloso Midway 36, Edcal Chelsea 55. PSJ Southwest 6, Lyford 52, Santa Maria 6, Santa Rosa 50, Progreso nothing. PSG High getting a win over Juarez Lincoln 49-10. Edinburgh High staying hot. They beat Edinburgh Economides 49-9. Mission Veterans all over Roma 48-3. Alice beating Hidalgo 48-14. McAllen Memorial beating Brownsville Lopez 41-14. Gruya beating Laredo Martin 37-12. La Villa blanking Monte Alto 34-0. Mission beating Edinburgh North 28-24. I know we'll talk about that one just a little bit. That was last Friday night. Sherryland Pioneer getting their first district win over PSJ Memorial 27-15. Mac High 21, Brownsville Veterans 14, Westlake East 17, Brownsville Porter 7. And to recap what exactly we saw in Week 4, John, let's start with the big one, and that was Mission and Edinburgh North. You and I were there, and a couple of miscues down the road there for Edinburgh North. Mission, though, took advantage with the time on the clock. I think we saw 2 things that, one, Kevin Guerra and both Evan Medrano both grew up as quarterbacks.
Yeah, no, definitely. Kevin Guerra is a transfer. He transferred in for his senior year there at Mission, and if I wouldn't have known that, he looked like he'd been running that offense for as long as he'd been at the school for his 4 years in high school. I mean, he worked it with efficiency, moved the ball, played it safe with passes, was never in any real danger. And for Medrano, he did what he's been doing all season. He slings the ball around, uses his feet, stays in the pocket to the very last second. We saw him take some big hits on Friday, Kevin. He stayed down for just a little bit, regathered himself, said, okay, let's go again. It was a huge game for both quarterbacks. Mission was able to score with 44 seconds left, and that was the ball game.
Yeah, and for Medrano, you saw what he did throughout the 7-on-7 year. We felt that he's a kid who moved over from receiver over to quarterback, and going into that football game, he leads the 31-6A in passing, and that offense, we talked about it during the broadcast, just with leaps and bounds from where it was a year ago. Now with Oscar Campos there as the OC. A lot of good things to look forward to for Edinburgh North, though. They got so many weapons. Yari Rodriguez was a big weapon in that ball game. They got the bell cow there in the backfield. So, yes, you did lose that game, but again, what were the more positives outside of Medrano?
The defense. Yeah, the defense. For Mission got the better of them in the first quarter, but after that, the defense stiffened up, and the score was 28-24. But those came after. Mission had to make adjustments due to Edinburgh North just playing great defense overall.
And it seemed like in that game, John, that the third quarter was a real battle of attrition. I think that's what we used that word a few times in that third quarter. Both defenses made the adjustments. The offenses slowed down. It started out 7-7, 14-7, and you and I were like, okay, hold on. This just might end up being a shootout. Defenses wound up settling down, and then Edinburgh North went on that 2-touchdown spurt. Mission, though, came back, and when it counted, they drove right down the field, and Kevin Guerra made a couple throws on that drive.
Yeah, no, Guerra looked great all night. He used his feet whenever he had to. He wasn't too. It wasn't always his. Okay, I'm gonna drop back, and it wasn't a run first for him. He was looking to sit back in the pocket, scramble around, and then as a last-ditch effort, then he'll run. But no, he looked great all night. Medrano did too. But Guerra calling his own number on the read option to seal the game. That was incredibly huge. The defensive end dove right in and Guerra said thank you and walked in the end zone.
Yeah, that's a big win for a team that needed it. And, now Mission's going to take on Edinburgh. We'll talk about that later today. And then Edinburgh North, that's Vela. It's not going to get any easier, and we talked about running the gauntlet there. For you, Ruben, what stood out to you in the game that you covered?
Thursday, I had Nicky Rowe and Brownsville Pace. I was anticipating that one to be a shootout. You had the passing attack here by senior Mateo Llanes for Nicky Rowe, and the running attack here with Navades and Ivan Gonzalez. But Nicky Rowe is just a road tomahawk defense. It's suppressed. They shut him down at home, 49-21, and it was not what I expected. I expected a back and forth battle, and then quickly out of the gates, Nicky Rowe took control, and Pace tried to fight back and suppressed it. But then Nicky Rowe, just recapitalized going into the break, and then it was all gas, no breaks from then, and they took the win.
And for Rowe, that district really, it's been in play for, I think this is the third week now, and that's a 10-team district out there, and that's a big win for Rowe. And I know Pace is in a little bit of a rebuilding mode. Now, Brownsville veterans, they lost against Mackay this past week, 21-14. So that 5A district really shaping up to be pretty good, huh?
Oh yeah, it is. Like I said, it's a very 10-team district, and it's gonna be a shootout this Friday. You got two teams, both 3-0 in district play. So not only district standings on the line, but bragging rights on the line. It's McCown Memorial taking on Nicky Rowe. We'll get into that one later.
On Thursday night, we were up at Buck, and we saw both Miller and Brownsville Hannah go toe-to-toe. Man, that game was so close in the first half. Hannah, they had an opportunity to score a touchdown late on the really the last few plays of that first half. I felt that was the changer in that game. But it's funny going into that football game. Joe and I were talking that the key word in that game was going to be speed. And man, I mean, Damari Listener, Jaden Vela, and then of course you have Lonnie Atkism. I mean, speed, capital SPEED, exclamation point. That's what Miller has, and I mean that was they're a heck of a football team, and they have Waco La Vega this week on a Saturday, in fact. But we talked with Coach Guess a couple weeks ago. You and I got to see him last week at practice, and it was exactly what we expected from Hannah. They were going to compete. They were competitive all the way through that first half, and in the second half, Miller came out and scored. Little Chris Benya came back and scored an 80-yard touchdown on a screen pass. So the loss looks bad on paper. But when you look at it, it was a one-score game at halftime. And I think that speaks volumes to Brownsville Hannah and how good 32-6A is going to be. But that's what stood out for me in Week 4.
Yeah, what stood out to me was the game that we were at. It was the Mission Edinburgh North game. There was a huge implication due to some injuries from some other teams. And that game potentially, if you went out, I know Vela's the huge circle on your list. Excluding Vela, if you went out on that side, and then you go in and play Vela, you've got a real good shot to play for the district title.
You really do, and you mentioned there's some injuries with PSG North, That's going to be a big question mark. Edinburgh North still healthy. They still play Vela. But, yeah, you're right. That game, I felt, the Mission Edinburgh North game was going to be, 2-3 seed between them two and PSG North. PSG North already played Vela. Edinburgh North still has to play PSG North. PSG North still has to play Mission, and vice versa. So there's still a lot to be decided. And now you're starting to look at it. What it's looking like, it could be Vela 1, Mission 2, PSG North 3, Edinburgh North 4.
Yeah,
right now from what we're looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. Those 2, 3, and 4 spots are completely up for grabs. And you never know. North could be PSG North. Edinburgh North could be PSG North, and then PSG North goes and beat Missions. And then what happens then?
Yeah, it gets all 2, 3, and 4, 4, 3, and 2. But I think right now, one thing we do know that definitively Vela is going to be the 1 seed. And then we'll go over there from 2, 3, and 4. And again, those 3 teams still need to play each other outside of Mission and Edinburgh North. So it's still early in the district season. Friday night, where were you?
Friday night I was with you, Kevin.
Oh, that's right. Thursday night.
Thursday night I had Edinburgh Vela. Edinburgh Vela's offense, they looked as dominant as they could be. Brought out a couple new formations. They looked excellent. Looked like they didn't want to show too much, so they stayed in that formation most of the game. But defensively, they're just so fast, guys. Like you talk about speed, capital SPED. That's how the Vela defense looks. They fly around. La Jolla runs kind of the triple option, and that game, those are the test games where it's assignment football. Okay, can you play your assignment? And Vela did everything possible. They didn't let up a score until about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter when the backups were in. I mean, Vela just had an all-around beautiful performance.
Anything else stood out to you in Week 4? Maybe a game that you didn't cover?
McCown Memorial on Friday, I got to cover them against Brownsville Lopez. They showed why they're one of the top teams in 16-5 Division I, suppressing Lopez 41-14 quickly out of the gates. JP Cortez stepping in for Silva, who was out with appendicitis, but he'll be returning. I was speaking to Coach Patterson. He's going to be returning in 2 weeks. He's trying to make it back to the road game, but Cortez has been taking good control at the helm on offense, so I'm excited to see how it's going to play out on Friday against the row.
All right, that wraps up our first little segment there. On the other side of the break, we're going to be joined by La Feria head coach Oscar Salinas.
The Brownsville Independent School District continues to provide a safe environment for enriching education. From pre-K3 to early college high school, the award-winning district has advanced its legacy in curriculum, athletics, and fine arts. Teachers are driving the frontier of technology, bringing industry to the classroom. On and off the field, Brownsville ISD students engage in the experiences that make them college and career ready. Brownsville Independent School District, the best choice.
And he throws it down. Hey! See you later, touchdown.
And Luke for your motors, we're moving forward. Same great service, same great people, same great cars and trucks, and these great white letters. Our vision is crystal clear. Luke for your motors, we're on the move.
Here at Texas A&M University, Kingsville, we are a family. We support each other through thick and thin. We work together, grow together, excel together. We inspire each other to become the great minds of the future. We are here to ensure you succeed. Apply today to get started. This is your time.
It down. Hey! See you later, touchdown.
I love what I do. I really
love what
do.
I'm doing. I love children.
One of the most important things to do is to love your students.
Imagine teachers like these helping your child prepare to change the world. Take a closer look at Mission CISD.
We're the Hawks in the South Lady Hawks, and you're watching Real Sports Live. Awesome!
service is attitude. How far are we willing to go to service our community, our dealership here at Feria, and you? Sky's the limit.
We're the Red Texans, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Josh Moody and Coach Rolly Gonzalez of Josh Moody Loans are former Harlingen Cardinals and would like to wish all the teams good luck in tonight's games.
At HCISD, we embrace the future.
We learn to communicate.
At HCISD, we put our best foot forward.
At HCISD, we
Make noise!
At HCISD, we learn that the smallest of moments can make the deepest impressions.
At HCISD, we are creating the future together.
We are Santa Rosa, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Welcome back to Look Feria Motors here in Brownsville, Texas. As promised, Coach Oscar Salinas of the Feria Lions joining us here this afternoon. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me, Kevin. Appreciate it. Want to wish your father a happy birthday. I saw that.
Oh, thank you, yes, sir.
So yeah, well, thank you for having me here.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, before we came on, I was like, it's the Edinburgh trio.
Yeah,
I said Edinburgh.
Yeah.
It's a good trio we got here. But Coach, starting things off with your win this past week against Toloso Midway, it seems that if you guys just never missed a beat, you guys picked up right where you left off offensively. This past week, you guys really put it to TM. What were some things that stood out to you in that game?
Well, we played fast and physical. Like when I first came in, we had a philosophy of playing fast. We try to get the ball snapped, 10 seconds when it's put down. So one of the things that we did, we kind of changed it a little bit. We want to be physical but fast, but we played really fast. Our offensive line came off the ball really well. We ran the ball well, which helps us when, and then that opens up our deep passing game. And so we were able to get some big shots over the top as they started coming down to stop our run game. And so that opened up our offense even more. And, of course, right now Aaron's running the offense at a high pace. And, it just seems like we got all our kids clicking at the right time right now.
Obviously, you and everyone within that program feels this is where you needed to be. Do you feel that, because sometimes some teams say, well, we're ahead of schedule or we're behind schedule or we're right where we need to be. Do you feel offensively like you expected to be this fast?
No. We're a little bit ahead of schedule. I just actually talked to somebody the other day and told me, hey, you're peaking too fast, and so we got to guard from that. But no, we're ahead of schedule. Obviously, with so many new kids on, playing for us this year, it's all basically everybody pretty much on the skill side did not get to play. Maybe played it very little last year. So that's kind of why I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule. But we had a great summer with them. And I'm going to be honest with you, we had a great summer. They all came to our workouts. And then, like I talked to you about, when we compete at 7-on-7 state tournament, it helps us get better there as well.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I noticed with Aaron at 7-on-7 in College Station, and John can speak to how good you guys were over at the Harlingen League, was some coaches are in on 7-on-7, some aren't, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you see it with guys like you that run the spread, and Aaron got a chance to develop, like with Brandon and with Joaquim, and they developed that route tree, and they knew exactly what they were doing, and they built that confidence going into the season. Is all this, not only a testament to that, but was that a small piece of the puzzle going into the
that's
year?
a big piece for us. You're right. When I was in a different place, we weren't very big on 7-on-7, but for us, it's a big thing for us. It helps with the continuity, like you said, and then like I told you is, when we get to that state tournament, we're playing some of the best kids in the state of Texas. We're competing, so the quarterbacks have to get the ball out quicker. They got to throw it with anticipation. Our defensive backs got to break on that ball faster. Because before, when they're playing teams that don't have the speed that the teams that we face, they're able to use their athletic ability to do things. And when you go up there, you got to be technique sound. And so that helps our team. It really has helped our team.
And Aaron, he's off to a hot start. Coach Guerra sends me the stats weekly, and they get better and better and better. Just how good and how high a level is he playing at right now?
Well, he's playing at the highest level. That he's as good right now as Dorian was. And that's saying something because Dorian was really, really good. But he's got a good understanding of the offense. He's a 4-year letterman for us. So you got to understand that he's a 4-year letterman. He's been our athlete, so he's been at receiver, and then he's moved in and out of quarterback. So he's got a great understanding of the offense. He comes from the receiver side, and even on the defensive back, because we played him a lot of defensive back as well. So he has a great understanding of what the concepts that we're trying to get every week. So he's playing at a very high level, and he's just a really highly motivated and dedicated young man.
He comes from good stock because the Trevino boys, Orion has produced some pretty good boys. I know Julian, his older brother, and then we'll talk a little bit more about Joaquin in a little bit. But stepping aside from the quarterback, let's talk about the little Dickerson and what he's doing.
Well, he's doing a great job right now. And again, that was the unknown at running back.
Okay.
They were on our team last year. Zion and Angel Camarillo were on our team, but they didn't get to play as much last year. So that was the unknown. We had lost one of our running backs that we had counted on, had moved on to another school. But they did a good job in the summer. He did a good job of preparing himself. And he, like I said, he's an instinctive runner. He's really, really quick. And he's done, one of the biggest things we're so proud of both the running backs, but especially since you're talking about Zion, is his blocking ability. He's made it he's made a choice to become a good blocker and an overall good running back. But he's a great kid. We're really happy that he's at the level that he is right now, because I knew this is his first time playing. He's just a sophomore, but he's going to be a good one. He's going to be really, really good, and if he keeps getting better like he is, La Feria's going to have some good running backs there.
John?
Coach, everything you've been saying that with Aaron Trevino, that he's played multiple positions, and then with your running back, it just seems like everyone's completely bought into the program, and that's a testament to you, Coach. You're finding ways to motivate these kids. It doesn't matter when you get them. It's a huge testament to you. As soon as they step in, they know what you want and they know what you need, and they step up to the plate for you.
Yeah, and I was talking to Coach right now, and I said, we have an advantage being in one school town that we start looking at those kids and working with them when they're in the middle school. So we spend time with them, and we've been there. I've been there. Now going on my 11th season, so they understand the expectation, right? So they know that we're going to be a fast spread offensive team, and we're going to be a very aggressive defensive team. So they know the expectation. They know the legacy that we have now, a legacy wall. They understand the legacy of Lion football, and they don't want to be the ones that let that down. So we have that attitude now that they're not going to be the class or the kids are not going to bring down the legacy of La Feria, and so it's just been a good thing. And again, you're right, and I think back now, as good as we're playing, this is the youngest team I put on the field in a long time. And I talked to you in the spring when you came back to talk to us, and I told you, if you're going to get us, you're going to need to get us this year because we're going to be very young, right?
Yes.
But man, these kids they're outdoing me, but they work real hard, John. They work real hard in the summer to get to this point. Nothing's come easy. They're earning every game. They're earning every win right now by the hard work they're having to do.
A big testament to that is your senior quarterback, Aaron Trevino. Being a senior as the leader of that offense, he's helped propel these younger guys, saying, hey, this is what we need to do. And I'm sure he's communicated with wide receivers, running backs, hey, step up here, run this route, give it some timing. So how big is it for him to step up into that huge leadership role?
Well, it's really big for us. Like I said, he's a 4-year letterman for us. He's played, every position. We started him at slot receiver. I used him at corner a lot, early in his career. And last year he had to play both ways, during our COVID year. So he knows where to put the kids. He's patient with the young ones. And like you said, teaching them, hey, look, you need to go this way. You need to do this, And then he leads by example. He's not a big talker. His actions, the way he prepares every week for practice, prepares in the weight room. He's always in the weight room. He's always doing the things that he needs to be a better athlete. And so the kids, they naturally gravitate to him. They see it, right, in action. They don't have to hear it from him. They see him doing the hard work. And so it just propels your whole team when you have that kind of leadership. And this year, I'll get on to it, we don't have a lot of seniors, but this senior group is leading the team. And you know when the kids lead, you have a better chance to be successful. And that's what we got right now. We got seniors that are leading our team right now.
Yeah, no, that's always great to hear. As you said, the player-led teams usually the ones that end up going further because it's at a point where most of the time during district, you guys are just like, hey, come on. But come playoff time, those seniors step up and they say, hey, we're not losing. No, not this week. I'm not going out this way.
Right.
I'm not going out this way.
And I think that there's a chip on this team's shoulders, and the same thing since they're so young, you know. And we didn't play as well last year as we've done in the past, obviously because of things that were for COVID, obviously. So these kids have come hungry, excited to prove that La Feria is not going anywhere. We're going to be there and we're going to compete at the highest level. And so, but it really started this summer and started with their work ethic, led by him, and then Orly is our center. He's another 4-year guy. So when you have 4-year guys, Tony Marroquin, our guard, he's another 3-year guy. So we have some kids that have been there, have been through the gamut, and so they know what it takes to win. They know how hard it is to win, and so they can relate it to the young kids. Like, hey, yeah, you can get away with it as a freshman doing this, but not at the varsity level, not at the competition level that we play in. So it's been a good thing for us.
So I'd say going forward, you guys are setting yourself up pretty well with this senior-based group, showing these young sophomores and freshmen how to lead by example.
Yeah, oh yes, there's no doubt about it. Because we really, and I think this is a statement for throughout the district. I mean, throughout the valley, any program, we really haven't had an off season since March of 2 years ago almost. So you know what I'm saying? So, but yes, and we can't wait to get into off season again. But yes, that we've been very fortunate that those seniors know the expectations, right, and how to work, and so they're able to pass it down to these young teams.
Just real quick off topic, we mentioned it was an Edinburgh trio. When Coach Oscar was at Johnny Economides, I was actually his ball boy for multiple games, for multiple years. So it's always fun to come back full circle.
Yeah, no, it's
and
awesome.
now I'm sitting here doing interviews with him.
Yes,
so that's
awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's true. It's really good, and yeah, John was my ball boy back then. His family is family. So his dad, his grandpa, and his aunt Debbie. I actually had Michael. Michael. I had Michael on the staff last year, but he's back in Edinburgh now. But yeah, it's always great to have family, and it's a good deal, John. Good to see you doing really well.
No, it's awesome to see you.
Yeah, definitely all cut from the same cloth. My last question for you before we let you go, Coach, is you guys have Bevo Jones this week. So now you guys wrap up the non-district portion of the season. Now it's phase 2. It's the district season. So, obviously you guys talked about the leadership, all that. So these kids know exactly what they need to do in phase 2. Just with what you can share, what does Bevo Jones present to you? I know offensively they've been a juggernaut these last few years.
No, they're really good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really, really good. They have a great coach, and Coach Chris Sosa. He's a South Texas legend, from Alice, and so we have our work cut out for them. They run the slot T offense, which gives us problems because we have a hard time simulating it in practice. But that's why we scheduled Ed Calchelsa this year in our scrimmage, so we can get at least a look of it. Because as we get into the second round, we face a lot of slot T teams, Liberty Hill, those, and we've struggled with those teams. So we kind of wanted to put that type of team on the schedule. But yeah, we're going to face a really, really good team. It's a 3-hour drive to Beeville. So we're going to learn a lot about our team, how the young ones can travel. Can they get focused on that kind of? We've been able to focus them because they've been at home. So yeah, but we're going to get. We face tough competition. We believe in it now. We don't back down anymore. We play 2 6As, 5A and then another 5A. So you know, we kind of want to schedule up as best as we can, you know, because, you know, our district, and I'm going to district to answer, this year, this district is probably the most even that has ever been, okay? You know, before you could probably say, well, La Feria and maybe Hidalgo, La Grulla, Zapata, you know, but this year all of them except for us, I felt, had everybody back. You know, has a bunch of kids back in their district. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe Hidalgo, they lost a really good running back, and they lost some good players as well. But Coach, you know, Coach Tomball is going to have them ready to go. You know that. Joel Lopez, he's going to have Zapata ready. You know, Abel's going to do a great job at La Grulla. You know, and then Coach Davila now at Kingsville, who's just come in, he's building that program. They're being very competitive. They're a really big football team. So this is probably the most balanced team, balanced district in terms of, like, we're going to need to be ready to play every week to be able to get through this district, you know, and if we want to keep going into the playoffs. So that's why it was so important that we scheduled up and that our kids worked really hard this summer. So it's probably be a week-to-week thing with our district. We have no days off. We do have, like you said, we have our last district game. We'll close the book on non-district, and then we'll take that. We have a bye week. We'll take that week up, heal up a little bit, and then we're going back to the buzzsaw. And then, you know, God willing, we get an opportunity to play in the playoffs. You know, we'll be able to go, you know, a little bit further than we did last year. But, you know, right now, you know, our kids are playing hard, you know, and I think that it's just a testament to the hard work that they have and the attitude that they have. And before I leave, I just want to thank the Feria community. You know, that community that we have there is very, very supportive of our teams. And I know Jake Young did our game against him. He's awesome. I'm going to let you know. I always listen to you all afterwards, you know. But he does an awesome job. All of you all do an awesome job. Appreciate the work you do for South Texas and for us, for football, you know, for our kids to put them on there. But I listened to him. He's awesome.
Oh,
you know,
he's
he
good.
fired me up. You know?
Oh, yeah. Jacob
so,
Young,
Jake Young did a great job. And
yes, sir.
But our community, you know, there was a big crowd, you know, and they follow us. Administration's been awesome. Dr. Hernandez, superintendent, does a great job of supporting our programs. So, you know, I just want to give them a shout out and say, you know, thank them for all the support that we have. This ain't me, you know. I'm not the reason we're winning. I've got a great staff, a great coaching staff, and great kids, and a great community. So, but again, I appreciate you all having me today.
Yes, sir. That's Coach Oscar Salinas of the La Feria Alliance. Up next, we have Beto Leal and Hugo Ramirez joining us on the other side of the break.
Forever Memories Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for a fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
We are Eddie Burgella and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
We are La Villa, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Uniforms, etc., you're gonna find the opportunity to purchase the best high-quality scrubs. Soon after I learned about how the EDC was helping out the community, and so I did meet with Ms. Castillo. She made it very easy, very friendly, and she walked me every step of the way. I couldn't have done it without their help.
Come visit our new store in downtown Harlingen. We have furniture, appliances, clothes, collectibles, and more. All funds collected support the Sunny Glen Children's Home. Come see us at Vintage on Jackson at First and Jackson in Harlingen.
I love what I do. I really
love what
do.
I'm doing. I love children. One of the most important things to do is to love your students.
Imagine teachers like these helping your child prepare to change the world.
Take a closer look at Mission CISD.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Rio Sports Live is the Concession Stand. Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
We are La Villa, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Whether you're visiting or vacationing at South Padre Island, be sure to book your place to stay with Island Services. Locally owned for over 40 years. Trusted, reliable for condo and beach house rentals. Call and visit the website today. Island Services.
We are the Orange Cardinals, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Hi, I'm Rodo Rodriguez, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation for building some of the finest agents in the industry. I help to manage that process from day one. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business, then I would like to show you how I can help.
We are those Red Nose Lady Falcons, and this is Real Sports Live.
Welcome back to Luke Feria Motors in Brownsville, Texas. Kevin Arrow, as promised, Coach Beto Leal, head coach of Brownsville Rivera, and his right-hand man, the DC, Coach Hugo Ramirez, a.k.a. The Juice. We'll get into that later, and his awesome mustache.
Yes, we will.
We're going to get into that later, but, Coach, you guys are coming off a bye week in 32-6A. Y'all's district's fixing to get underway. I'm sure there's a lot of anticipation, a lot of things to be excited for, but first off, what was the bye week like for y'all?
Well, we got grades coming out this Friday, so what we always do 3 weeks prior to the 6 weeks coming out, we have tutorials. So we'll send our kids to tutorials. We'll start practice at 5:30. So we kept everything going, during the bye week. And then, of course, this week we're starting practice at 5:30. But we're not getting out. We're doing, our Monday and Tuesdays are our tough days. We practice 2.5, 2.5. And, but, man, the kids, I'm telling you right now, they're excited. They're excited about this week. They're excited about the season, and they're doing a good job. And so we're happy with what we've done so far. We're going to cut it down a little bit today and tomorrow, of course. But we're really excited. The kids, they're pumped up, and the coaches get pumped up, and we're all excited about Friday night.
What were some things you guys cleaned up with that you can share over the bye weeks? I know coaches will say it's a time for healing, a time to get healthy, and just to clean up some things.
Well, what we told our kids was just because it's a bye week, that Friday, it was about, our opponent was great. And so, we made them, like I said, we went to tutorial, but afterwards, as soon as they got on the field, all that was out the window. Now we're working. And, we had a young man get hurt against Rio Hondo, Fabian Moreno, one of our receivers. He just got out of the hospital yesterday, so we're happy to enjoy that part, so he's doing okay. But he's going to be out 6 weeks, so this bye week didn't help Fabian at all. But as far as the other kids, we did let them rest, but during that hour and a half when they're in tutorials.
Yeah, I got you. The grades always come first, right?
Yes,
Athlete
sir.
first, student first, athlete second.
Yes.
You guys kicked off the season and quickly turned some heads. You guys went down to FAR, took PSJ North into overtime. You guys have been in all y'all's games. You get the win at Rio Hondo. At that time, they were undefeated. And that was a quality,
good team right there.
good offensive squad.
Well, what these 3 games really helped was we had highs, we had lows in all 3 games. We were up, we were down, we're up, and it was like a learning moment for our kids. We were able to tell them, hey, man, that's life.
Yeah.
You're going to be up one day, you're going to be down, but what are you going to do when you're down? We got to get back up. So, it was a learning experience for the kids. So, you know, with the tough district we're in, you know, we're going to have our ups, we're going to have our downs. So we got to just get our kids used to bouncing back, which I think the last 2 weeks they've been bouncing back.
Yeah, and Edinburgh now, that win's starting to look even better and better because they're starting to find their form, and you guys were able to pick up a win against a team that could very well be in the playoffs.
Yeah, Edinburgh, you know, they were good.
Yeah.
They were good, and I was surprised they lost that first game and stuff like that. But man, you know, they're coming along great. And then Rural Hondo, man, I was talking to Coach all the time. Hey, Coach, you know, you better stop number one. You better stop.
Yeah.
you know, and so we're happy that we got those 2 wins, and then going into a bye week, it's always good to come off a win going into that bye week. So, you know, that helped out. And then with the morale of the kids, which I know we're going to talk later on about the morale of the kids, and it's just up there. You know, this week in practice, like I said, we had a great week. We really believe our kids are very well prepared for this week.
So you guys kick off 32-6A, and what we're seeing is going to be very competitive. We talked about Hannah. I'm sure you maybe saw Klimps against Miller.
Oh, yeah, I heard more guests.
Yeah, I mean, they went toe-to-toe with Miller. Harlingen South.
God, Israel's doing a great job over there.
Right,
yes,
and then you guys and San Benito's undefeated.
Yes, with Dan the man.
At Weslaco beat Mission a couple weeks ago.
Stroman's always going to have his kids ready to go. You know, that's what I like about our district. You know, all the coaches, man, in 32-6A, man, they all respect one another. When we get together, you know, we talk, get along. You know, once we get them, those lights turn on Friday night, man. You know, those guys, you know, they're a tough bunch of guys, man, and they're ready to rock and roll all the time.
I mean, even Los Fresnos.
Yes, sir.
Los Fresnos out of the spread with David down there. But you know, starting with Harlingen, that's who your opponent is Friday night at Sam's at 7:30. With what you guys can share, we'll start on the offensive side of the ball. What are some things that you guys are looking forward to with what you can share?
Well, on the offensive side of the ball, you know, of course, we got Ramsey Rocha. You know, he's a 4-year letterman. We've got a lot of expectations for him as far as, you know, his ability to read that defense and stuff like that. Man, he does a good job in disguising his defense. And, you know, we're just going to attack different areas that we see that they might not be as good at. So that's our, you know, as far as offensively.
Yeah. And I mentioned you before we came on here, I felt like Ramsey's been there since he's a six-year kid, but he's a 4-year letterman.
Yeah, I got there after Ramsey's freshman year, and you know, we had Chito as our quarterback,
Perez.
And so we knew eventually Ramsey was gonna take the lead in that. So we had Ramsey as our backup quarterback, but he also played our J, what we call a J, which is our slot receiver, and so he would take reps at the backup, you know, behind Chito. Or if we had a lead or whatever, and then that's when Ramsey would go in. So he's got that experience, and then he also played quarterback as a freshman. You know, when I believe their number 1 went down, then Chito went down, and then he was a freshman. They brought him up, so he's got experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Your boy Elias was actually on our crew last year, but he had some work obligations. Hernandez, Elias, your tight end.
No, Elian.
Yes.
Elian.
Yes, Elian.
Yeah, no,
right.
great kid.
Yeah,
great kid.
He was a part of our group for a little while, and he was still wanting to do some work with us. But there's another kid I know he graduated, but that you guys have come through the program. Defensively, Hugo, you want to pass the mic over to your DC here. You know, defensively, Coach, you know, we know your track record, you know, with Lopez and things you did there. And, you know, everyone, when they talk about Rivera football, oh, man, that defense, they're going to hit you hard. They're going to be physical. Obviously, those are some things that you pride your defense on. So you can go a little more in depth on that.
Yeah, definitely, man. You know, I tell the kids, you got to make sure that whoever comes to our town or we go play anywhere else, they remember who they played, you know. You got to be physical, clean but physical, and get after it all the time, man. And, you know, we had a bye week coming into Harlingen. And, you know, Manny's going to have his team prepared, you know, year in, year out, man. They're the team to beat, you know. This year is no different, man. I wish I had 2 weeks to prepare for Manny, but, hey, we'll take whatever, man, you know. But, yeah, they got a very good running back, man, that we're going to have to contain, you know, and stuff. But we're up for the challenge, man. They're multiple offensively, but we're multiple defensively. So, you know, the kids have had 2 good weeks of practice, and they're looking forward to it. I go, you want to play in big games? Now you got what you asked for. So what are we going to do when the lights come on, man? So the kids are ready and ready to go, man.
Who are some kids on your defense to keep an eye on?
Our middle linebacker, he's a junior, Abel Campos. My other linebacker is Jose Hernandez, also a junior. Our defensive end, number 2, Eric Arevalo, you know, he's a junior as well. But, man, they don't play like juniors, man. They play like seniors, and I'm just happy that they're juniors, man.
Right. You know, as a coordinator, it sounds like you got a luxury of youth. But then also these kids sound like they're the kind that can direct the defense, can be the quarterback of the defense, where you have a coach on the field.
Yeah, definitely, man. When we talk about that cat, it's got to be Jose Hernandez, man. That guy knows my playbook in and out. I tell the kids, man, if you make a mistake, go 110, man. I make a mistake sometimes, and there's Jose correcting me. I go, Coach, no, remember it was the A gap, not the B gap. And I go, you see, I make mistakes going 110, so, you know, it's all right if you make a mistake going 110.
There you go. And you know, offensively, you know, we know what Harlingen, they got their running backs there, and with what they can do, and they got a young quarterback stepping in. But what's going to be the key just overall in this football game? Because we know it's the district opener, so there's going to be a lot of emotion. There's going to be a lot of hype. We're going to be I'm excited.
Yeah, no,
you guys are excited in your own ways. You're fired up, but just how do you weather that storm and tell your kids just stay within themselves? You guys are at home. I mean,
well, Coach, I'll be honest with you. We get our kids pumped up. We're getting them excited. We want them to be pumped up, excited. We're not trying to, you know, we go 110%. We're not going to try to slow anything down. You know, we tell them it's a big game, and we're not shying away from it.
Right.
You know, we know it's a big game, and you know, we want them to go and, hey, havoc on them, man. You know, y'all go and get loose, man. So, no, we're telling our kids, man, we're going to play it like we played the last 3 games. We're going to be there ready to go, and we're going to go toe-to-toe with anybody, you know, and those are the kind of kids we got.
Absolutely.
And they don't have a problem going toe-to-toe with anybody. So
Absolutely. Switching gears just a bit, I was at your school last night.
Yes, sir.
And I was looking. Hey, shout out to Coach Mary Guerra and that team picking up a big win. They're 3-2 in district now. I felt that was the game where that can put them in a position to make a run. Coach Mary Guerra said that was the best they played all year, and
they look good.
It could be the turning point for your girls.
Oh man, Ms. Guerra, you know, she picked up her 600th win
this
year, and you know, she's doing a great job with those girls. And you know, some of those little girls, man, they get a little fired up. And they came into the office the other day, and hey, Coach, you know, we watch your boys at the game. We're at your games, and trust me, at our game, you can hear our volleyball girls. You know, they're a rowdy little bunch, man. But they're great kids, and you know, every game they have a different theme, and you know, they're bringing the student body together. You know, they're bringing the football players, everybody together, and last night showed how much they're playing together now, and. Shoot, they looked awesome.
Well, I knew we were getting closer to October with the weather, and then we're in the month of September. But then I saw everyone was dressed up in costumes. I'm like, what is going on?
Pajamas.
The pajama day.
Pajamas last
you guys
night.
had a Care Bear out there.
Yeah,
a kid in a Care Bear, like
a
jumpsuit.
Bear, we had a horse. We had a Rainbow Bright. We had all kinds of kids out there dressed up in their pajamas. And, well, I showed up in my pajamas as well.
What was that?
Well,
a blue robe, right?
Yeah, it was a blue robe, blue pajamas, and the kids wanted us to show school spirit, so I went out there in pajamas, and, well, you know, if they're going to support us, we're going to support them.
Did you sport PJs?
Yeah, I was there, and I was dressed as Pancho Villa with a stash.
There you go. Oh, jeez. There you go.
Hey,
go
you
figure,
knew
right?
you weren't going to get through this thing too serious.
Yeah, I know.
No way,
There's going to be some laughs. There's going to be some laughs. But no, I thought they did a great job, and the student section was
yes,
really loud.
And so, yeah, we're getting more and more support, you know, from our administration. They've always been supportive, but, you know, now more of the teachers are coming out, more of the students are coming out, and, during lunchtime, sometimes we have Coach Atkinson. If you go on a Tuesday night home game for volleyball or Friday, game night for football, and he's in the cafeteria, and that feels like a pep rally, and he's getting the kids going. So, it's starting to come. It's coming along, and we tell the kids we're not there yet. We're still climbing. We got a long way to go, but if we keep on course, keep on track, we're gonna get there.
Good environment though, because we're starting to see everything go back to normal. Thank God, because I know this last few months. I know last year was limited and the spacing and gyms weren't the same. Gyms weren't the same, but kudos to your student section that they were pretty rowdy outside in every positive way. They were rowdy.
Thank you guys.
They got a sense of humor. That Care Bear really.
Yeah. Well, did you see the horse?
I saw the horse. I saw the Care Bear and just about every other costume there.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Good
Pretty
job,
cool.
man.
But I was talking with Richard Guerra, Coach Guerra's husband, and he was telling
the
me
cheese.
El queso. Well, we were talking about his Brownsville backstory and how Coach Mary started there in '94. I believe she told me back in '94, and he was a Brownsville Hannah product.
Yes.
He also went to Hannah with you.
Yeah, he's 2 years younger. He's my wife's age and stuff like that. So that's how I met Richard in high school, because him and my wife were friends, and ever since then, man, he's one of our big supporters too in football. He goes to all our football games, and then he goes to our coaches' barbecues.
There you go. We'll call it that. We'll call it the coaches' barbecue. But but you're Brownsville through and through.
Yes, I graduated from Hannah in '88 and stuff like that. So we're there, and Coach is '89 from Pace, and so he's just a year younger, but he was a rowdy one when he was in high school. It was 90, Coach. Oh, that's right. You're my wife's age too.
90. We'll give him 90.
Yes. No, he was a heck of a defensive end and stuff like that.
We're gonna talk to you in a bit.
Yeah.
We're gonna pick your brain. But did you play sports at all?
I played the first couple of years, and then after that, I was done. And then tried to play a little baseball there at TSC, and work came in, and there went all my college hopes. So, but studied the game. I love football. Me and Coach were talking about, when I graduated, man, I wanted to be a PE teacher at the elementary and do these, Pop Warner leagues and stuff like that. And so I started doing that, and then Coach Tom Chavez, when they opened up Lucio Middle School, I was doing football, basketball. I was doing Little League baseball. And so Coach Chavez, gave me my first coaching job there at Lucio Middle School. And then from there, it just so happens my wife got accepted into a corporate school. I went over there and started coaching at the high school level then. And when I was coming back, Tom Chavez was at Donna. So I was trying to get back into Rivera, since Tom gave me my first job. But Montemayor was the OC. He coached me when I was in junior high. So he got the job at Lopez, and so that's how I ended up at Lopez.
And then that's where you guys spent time.
After that was our defensive coordinator, Hector Garcia. He got the head coaching job at Porter, and he says, hey, why don't you come be my OC? And so, unfortunately, Coach Garcia passed away, and Starkey got the job at Lopez. And he says, hey, come on over. So I took Hugo with me, and I took David Torres. And David Torres is my OC, and Hugo now is my DC. So when I went to Rivera, I said, come on, guys.
Let's go back.
And so from Porter to Lopez, now to Rivera, they've been with me. And, Coach Torres is doing a great job, with our offense. With Ramsey, we were a little bit worried, where Ramsey was going to be, being his first year as an actual starter. And, man, that guy surprised a lot of people. He's been doing a great job. And all he has to do is, if he keeps getting better, man, he's going to be an unstoppable kid.
Now, we're excited to see what he does throughout the rest of the year. And Starkey's, he's still doing a little bit of coaching down at St. Joe.
Yeah.
So
we still get with Starkey. We got war stories with that guy.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I am sure. But we called him the Lopez Miracle Man, and then Mark Molina. Mark, we were like, man, think about that staff at Lopez. We're like, Beto was there, Torres was there, Juice was there, Starkey was there. We're like, man, that was that's a star-studded lineup there. And I mean, not to go back in time, but I mean that Lopez team was good.
Yes, they
I mean, you
really
guys
were.
caught everybody by surprise.
No,
It was a good story that year.
Yeah, just the whole thing is getting the kids to believe and buying into your program. We believed in what Starkey wanted. Starkey believed in what me and Juice wanted, and with that combination, and then we got some coaches that came in. Another coach that I took was Jerry Garcia. He was part of our staff. Now he's over at Rivera. This is his first year there.
Yep.
And those guys and us, we all believe in the same thing. And when the coaches start believing in it, and we get the kids to buy in it, sky's the limit. And, it's taking us some time, but, kids are buying in. Coaches are buying in. And, you ought to see our staff now, our coaching staff, pretty darn good. And I'm not disappointed from our freshman staff all the way to our varsity staff. How we get together, game plan and stuff, and it's a good staff. It really is.
And for you, Coach, you won a state title a couple years ago, right, with powerlifting at Lopez. Am I correct?
Yeah, we started there. We started those kids very young. We'd practice in the morning. At 7, they were already working out. But a lot of those kids were part of that football program. We were very successful because those kids were very hardworking, and we had the #1 defense in the valley and stuff because they got after it, man. They believed in all the blitzing stuff, the type of defense that I like to run, and the kids just, hey, we love this, and they just picked it up, and we were successful,
And as a defensive guy, and also you have that strength and conditioning background, just how important is strength and conditioning and those kids to be in the weight room and work out?
Oh, it's very important, especially like now with the COVID and stuff. You tend to get a lot of kids that haven't been doing anything, so you got to start them out slow, but eventually get them up to par. It's very important. We lift weights 3 times a week during the season. When we're not in season, we go 4, sometimes 5.
Yeah.
Very important, man.
Coach Wall does a good job for us.
Coach Eddie Garcia, he's our
call him
strength and
the wall.
conditioning.
The wall.
The wall.
The wall.
Does a hell of a job for us there at Rivera.
And Coach, I mean, I got the stash, the best mustache in the region, probably the state. Definitely the best stash in the valley.
Heck yeah, by far.
By far. We call him the juice. It's the juice. Hugo Ramirez, the juice. You just bring the thunder. Coach, I'm glad you're healthy. I know you had a COVID scare this past year. There was no secret there, so I'm happy you're back at it.
Oh, definitely, man. Every day's a blessing, man. And I'm so blessed to have made it through and stuff like that. A lot of the coaches, a lot of prayers, led by Coach Starkey, and we had people praying for me throughout the country because Starkey's been everywhere. Man.
Oh yeah, in the NFL, the rookie, the rook, wink, the rookie.
Yeah, I call him or text him at least once a week, man.
Yeah, good people.
I miss that big guy.
Good
man.
people. I tell you what, though, it was funny because I was at St. Joe about a week and a half ago, and I mean, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, right? But Starkey, all 6'5" of his NFL self.
I don't stand next to Starkey.
I don't blame you. He comes into Tino's office, Coach, we got 8th grade football. What do we do? And I was like, man, why is this guy so nervous? Like, football's in his blood. I've never seen Jason Starkey so nervous. But him and Tino went over some things, and I'm like, okay, cool. But Starkey's good people. So.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
By
they're good people. Yeah. But coaches, before we go, anything else, Coach? Before you go, any shout-outs or any thank yous you want to give?
Shout out to all the students there at Rivera and all the administration there at Rivera, man. They back us up 110%, man. That's all you can ask for, man. Oh, my wife as well. She's always at every game, man. Every game.
The MVP, the MVP.
My snack before, during halftime, and after. So she's a very big part of.
How's Leanna doing?
Oh, Leanne's doing great, She went to chiropractic school.
Okay.
So she's up in Dallas. And
she's still doing the powerlifting, or is she?
She's gonna take a break from that.
Okay.
Because going to chiropractic school it's a big load. So, and she figured that one out. So I go, hey man, and nothing's easy in this world, man. If it's worth it, hey, you know.
Yep. You were at a UT game this past weekend, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. My first UT. I love my Longhorns, but
how much UTSA?
We'll get that in a minute.
We're always, you know, working and stuff, but my friend was like, "You're in a bye week," and so I don't mean I'm off, you know. We'll just drive up that day, man. I'll go as fast as a car can go and stuff. I go, it sounds good, but you know what? I don't know, man. You're the biggest Longhorn fan I know, man, and you don't want. I never said I didn't want to go. I said, you know, he goes, let's go. So we went and right back, man, but I enjoyed that.
Good stuff. And Coach Beto, any shout-outs, thank yous?
Well, I know he already gave a shout-out to our kids and stuff like that, but I want to give a bigger shout-out to our student body there at Rivera, our volleyball players, all right? And they know which ones that are getting the kids all riled up, and I appreciate that. And, of course, our administration staff. I thought you were going to say it, but if you don't mind, I'm going to say it. One of our coach friends, Lupe Perez, he was with us at Lopez, and COVID got him, and he watches you all the time.
Good.
So, Lupe, hey, I hope you're getting better, brother, all right? And then, of course, my wife and kids, you know, got to give a big shout-out to them. I wouldn't be where I'm at without those, you know, those 4 kids, 1 wife.
There you go.
But
there you go.
And you know what? And thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
I know I've told you this a lot of times and everything, but when you cover our kids and stuff like that, our kids love it.
Yes,
they really do, and they talk about it, and they'll come to the office. And, hey, Coach, did you see on? So I want y'all to know we appreciate everything you
all these guys back here, all of us together.
And I really do want to thank all of y'all.
All of us together.
You know, our kids really love it, and we appreciate it. And then, of course, if I don't say a shout-out to Luke Feria, Mr. Feria might get mad at me, and Rudy, man, one of the salesperson.
Yeah, no, you came in, you guys, the red carpet rolled out. You guys are celebrities.
Well, no, they're all high school friends of ours here, and so no, this is where we come and get our cars.
Good stuff, even better here at Luke Feria Motors. 2 Brownsville products here in the city of Brownsville. Coach, I'll catch up with you guys on Friday. I'll have the call there for Sam. So
awesome.
I'm excited.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. I'm excited to see you guys. So we'll have that game on for you at 7:30. So, Coach Beto Leal, Brownsville Rivera, DC, Hugo Ramirez, a.k.a. The Juice. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be back and to wrap things up.
Aquí, en la Universidad de Texas A&M Kingsville. Somos una familia. Nosotros nos apoyamos. Trabajamos juntos. Crecemos juntos. Triunfamos juntos. Nos inspiramos los unos a los otros para convertirnos en las grandes mentes del futuro. Estamos aquí para asegurarnos que tú triunfes. Aplica hoy para empezar. Es tu momento.
The Brownsville Independent School District continues to provide a safe environment for enriching education. From pre-K3 to early college high school, the award-winning district has advanced its legacy in curriculum, athletics, and fine arts. Teachers are driving the frontier of technology, bringing industry to the classroom. On and off the field, Brownsville ISD students engage in the experiences that make them college and career ready. Brownsville Independent School District, the best choice.
And he throws it down. Oh! See you later, touchdown.
And Luke Feria Motors, we're moving forward. Same great service, same great people, same great cars and trucks, and these great white letters. Our vision is crystal clear. Luke Feria Motors, we're on the move.
We're the Lady Cougars, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Here at Texas A&M University, Kingsville, we are a family. We support each other through thick and thin. We work together, grow together, excel together. We inspire each other to become the great minds of the future. We are here to ensure you succeed. Apply today to get started. This is your time.
And he throws it down. Hey! See you later, touchdown.
I love what I do. I really
love what
do.
I'm doing. I love children. One of the most important things to do is to love your students.
Imagine teachers like these helping your child prepare to change the world. Take a closer look at Mission CISD.
We're the Harlem in the South, Lady Hawks, and you're watching Real Sports Live. Hawks up!
Service is attitude. How far are we willing to go to service our community, our dealership here at Feria, and you? Sky's the limit.
We're gonna 5 minutes. Welcome back to Real Sports Live at Luke Feria Motors. Kevin Auer, Ruben, and John here. That's probably about the most entertaining 15, 20 minutes you'll get on high school football. You won't get that anywhere else. But when you have Juice and Beto here, it always makes for good TV. So shout out to those guys and Oscar Salinas for joining us earlier in the show. So before we wrap things up, guys, week 5 starts as early as tomorrow. We had 3 games on the schedule. Starting with you, Ruben, where will you be and what are you looking forward to?
I'll be at Brownsville Finest. I'll be at Sam's Memorial Stadium tomorrow covering Mac High versus Porter. Mac High here. 2-1 in district. Porter's still trying to find the group. 0-3 in district, but hey, anything can happen, man.
John, you and I will be together tomorrow. That's going to be one of the 3 games. Mission at Edinburgh High at Richard Flores. Brandon will be there. Mac High taking on Porter, as Ruben mentioned. And then, John, you and I will be at Richard Thompson Stadium, a.k.a. the home stadium for Mission veterans. They host at Cal Chelsea. So of those 3, John, which one might stick out to you?
It'll probably be the Mac High game. You know, the Bulldogs are coached by Coach Shelby, and he's done an excellent job so far. His only district loss was a overtime thriller against McAllen Memorial. So he's got a pretty good squad. He coached them up well. He was the offense coordinator when I was at Vela playing. So I'll always be rooting for my former coaches.
Friday, here is our schedule. We're going to have Brownsville Hannah at Harlingen South to kick off 32-6A. Aroma at Mercedes Fremont at Marine Military Academy. Edinburgh Vela taking on Edinburgh North. Harlingen at Brownsville Rivera. Valley View taking on Pioneer. Alice at H.M. King. And then we're going to have Corpus Christi Carroll, Corpus Christi Ray. Falfurrias at Lyford. Odom at Santa Rosa. Hebronville at Taft. And then we also added earlier today the Bishop and London game to our schedule as well. So for me, tomorrow, I think that Ed Couch Mission Vets game is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have the slot T versus the spread. Seems like it's been a theme this year. So I know you're excited to dip your toes over at Richard Thompson.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be the first time I get to cover either one of those schools, so it's always fun getting to meet getting to meet more coaches and build my own connections.
For Friday night, you got a big one. This one had already been circled on the calendar date. Fremont and MMA. Fremont, you're going to have a treat as they run that Power Eye, something we really don't see at all. So they run that Power Eye. They're both undefeated going into the year. So just let's pass over the mic to Ruben here. What you're most excited about for MMA and Fremont?
Well, first of all, quick shout out to MMA. Always a blast when I get to go out there. And it's going to be, like I said, Fremont 3-0 on the season here, defeating teams by overall differences of 30 points or more. But they have their plate full. They have MMA running that 2-quarterback offense with sophomore Benjamin Smith and junior Nathan Harvey, also 3-0, blanking 3 Michino. So it has the fixings, has the recipe for a good old-fashioned shootout. That one at Bowman Stadium on Friday night. I'm always excited. Shout out to Lucio and Morton and all the coaching staff there, and just can't wait to go out there.
So that is Friday night. That's going to be MMA in Fremont. You will be down the street in your neighborhood taking on, or not taking on, but Vela, Edinburgh North. I'll be down at Sam's to kick off 32-6A with Rivera and Harlingen. Rudy, you're going to be in Santa Rosa, his hometown. For John, what are you most excited about with Edinburgh Vela and Edinburgh North? And I know we went down the list that, okay, Harlingen didn't get it done, PSG North didn't get it done. Hoya, and then we're kind of running out of teams where we can say this is the legit shot where if Vela's going to lose a game, it might be this one. Now we're just looking at Edinburgh North and potentially Mission as being the last two to realistically have a shot.
Yeah, and Edinburgh North's going to come out and try to spread the ball around. It's going to be a little bit different. It's a different look from what Vela's defense has seen lately. Lately, they've been facing teams who try to run the ball first and then try to pass. Edinburgh North will come out and let the ball fly right out the gate. Whether they take a shot in the first play of the game, that wouldn't surprise me either. But offensively, it's going to be fun what they decide to come out in because, as I said last week, they showed a completely different formation from what they've used. And so it's just going to be a lot of fun watching that offense and how they continue to go throughout the season.
So, again, we're going to run down the schedule just real quick before we wrap up. Tomorrow, Thursday night, Mission taking on Edinburgh High. McAllen High coming out to the Lower Valley to take on Brownsville Porter at Sam's, at Calchester, Mission Vets. Friday night, Brownsville Hannah at Harlingen South. Roma at Mercedes. Fremont at MMA. Edinburgh Grella and Edinburgh North at Richard Flores. Harlingen at Sam's taking on Brownsville Rivera. Valley View meeting Pioneer. Alice meets HM King. And we have a game down at Buck. That's two Corpus teams, Corpus Christi Carroll, Corpus Christi Ray. Bishop taking on Corpus Christi London. Fowl at Lyford, Odom at Santa Rosa, Hebronville at Taft. And then into Saturday, we actually have two football games. We have Palmview at Brownsville Veterans at Sam's, where you'll be, and then I'll be going up the road to Buck to join Mark for Waco La Vega and Corpus Christi Miller. So we have two football games, in fact, on Saturday. So, guys, before we wrap up, any final thoughts?
It's the last part of the season. Districts officially started for everybody, so it's in the month of September. It's kind of like baseball. It's that final home stretch.
Right. Any last thoughts?
Said week 5, like I said, the final home stretch. District playoff fever already going to start to show its symptoms here, starting to creep in. So just anything can happen from here, and it's all a matter of see what goes down.
All right, guys, that wraps it up for our weekly show here at Luke Feria Motors in Brownsville, Texas. It's Ruben, Kevin, John, Rudy, Zamaripa Jr. right there behind manning the camera on behalf of myself, Joe Bowling, and everyone at Real Sports Live saying so long for now from Brownsville.